Does making frequent changes to your Airbnb listing boost you in search rank? So we just ran an analysis on over 5,000 properties to answer that question definitively. Now, the going logic online is that if you make frequent changes to your Airbnb listing, Airbnb is going to flag you as an active host and therefore more relevant and boost you in rank. So we decided to run the numbers and see if that's true. I want to share with you what we found. What you can see here is the impact of frequent changes. Now, we analyzed this in two ways. Number one, we wanted to understand what was the long-term impact of someone who makes frequent changes, and number two, what was the immediate or short-term impact of making frequent changes to your listing. We wanted to be really confident on this, and that's why we looked at it in both ways. So let's look at it from a long-term perspective. So we took 26 properties and analyzed the impact of those who, that were not making frequent changes and then switched to making frequent changes. The reason we want to do it this way is because this is the best way scientifically to isolate the single variable. So we looked at 26 properties that went an extended period of time not making frequent changes, and then they started making frequent changes and analyzed the impact. What you can see is this is the average first page impression rate of these 26 properties before they started making frequent changes and then after. You can see that the variation here is quite wild, but on average, what we found is that those that started making frequent changes dropped about 1%. Now, I'm not saying that if you start making frequent changes that you're going to drop 1%. That 1% is actually well within a normal variation. So basically, we can say confidently that there's virtually no impact to making frequent changes to your listing in the long term. Now, let's look at the short-term impact. What we did is we basically stacked all of the changes for over 5,000 properties on top of each other and looked at the average difference before and after the change. So 10 days before, 10 days after. And what you can see is that on the day that they actually made the change, about 46% average first page impression rate, and then the day after it jumps to about 47%. Now, if you look at this chart, you can see that that is well within a normal variation. In fact, if you calculate the standard deviation, it's about 1%, meaning that that next day was well within the standard deviation, and we can again confidently say that there is no immediate impact to making minor adjustments to your listing. The takeaway here is that making just any change doesn't really matter. What matters is the type of change you make, and you can track that and make sure that you're making your decisions with data, not based on rumor. If you want to know what else works on Airbnb, hit subscribe.